Well, you know what they say. Another day, another chicken barn burns down. Oh, the world's crazy. Hey, look. See the difference? Look, that's a mature hen, and that is a new spring chicken. Some of us aren't spring chickens anymore. Look at that. We got some new spring chickens that are coming in and laying some new eggs. Looking forward to that. I made a whole bunch of hard-boiled eggs last night. Listen, the best way to make hard-boiled eggs is to basically place the eggs, single layer in a pot of boiling water, rolling boil for 10 minutes. And then pull them out of there and then put them under the most cold water you can possibly find. If you don't have that much cold water, if it doesn't get cold enough, put ice cubes in it. And it doesn't matter if you crack them at that point because they're hard boiled and you want to crack them a little bit. You know, sometimes I'll take them out if they're hard boiled and just knock them on something just to give it a crack. And then let them simmer in that cold water for about 5 minutes. And I just stir it around, every so often in that super cold water. And then after that, you peel and it all comes off perfect. There's no problem peeling. Give it a try. Okay, but before we get started with that, did you know the chicken is the most populated bird on planet Earth? And people have domesticated the chicken starting from a long time ago. And people in Davos want you to give up eating meat. If they really want you to give up eating meat, the first thing they do is they have to get rid of all of these chicken barns. And I posted that list. This is just a partial list of all of the chicken places that have been closed down or have been burned down. And this, I think, was from 2020, part of 2021 to only like June of 2022. So if you have a full list, if you can locate a full list of everything from 2021, 2022, and then now in 2023, please send me that list. You can do so at anamericanhomestead.com, our website, and then go to the contact page and send me a link or to that, or say, hey, listen, I have the list, and I'll reply back, and you can attach it to the email when you reply back. Send me the list. I want the full list if you have access to that, because that was just a partial list. That's insane. It's real. So we had that big chicken fire in Connecticut that killed about 100,000 birds. And now we have one just reported today over in New Zealand. See, this is not just U.S. This is worldwide because those freaks in Davos, they want to end meat for everybody.
My daughter, 24, inspired me and said, Dad, how can you advocate for these zero carbon value chains if you still eat meat? And so I stopped eating meat. But if 1 billion people stop eating meat, I tell you it has a big impact.
So we have New Zealand. Let's take a look. Fire at Waikato farm kills 50,000 chickens. A fire at a chicken farm in Orani has killed 50,000 egg-laying hens. Z-Gold Nutrition Chief Executive John McKay confirmed there was a fire at its egg-laying farm in Waikato. A supervisor on site at our farm called the fire department at 7:40 a.m. today. All 12 staff members on site are safe and unharmed. Your staff is unharmed. Fantastic. 50,000 egg-laying hens, the real workers. 10 emergency vehicles are currently on site to contain the spread of the fire. McKay said the cause of the fire had not been determined and the focus was on the welfare of the hens. Yes, the welfare of the hens. We have grief counselors now on standby, ready to assist in any way they can. McKay confirmed at about 1 p.m. the fire had been contained. We're pleased to report the fire has been contained after about 50,000 birds are dead, with Fire and Emergency New Zealand remaining on site to monitor any hot spots. At this stage, we still have to assess the full extent of the damage, but it was not as extensive as initially reported, with only 2 sheds effective. Initially, only 2 sheds. McKay said it involved 4 sheds and had killed 75,000 hens. He later reduced that number to 50,000 chickens who have died. This evening, he said, we have a specialist avian vet at Orani currently assessing and caring for the birds in the remaining sheds. His initial report is that the birds seem to be in good health. They will continue to be closely monitored in the coming days. It's expected the on-site packing facility will be operational from this evening to ensure all the eggs unaffected by the fire can be packed and delivered to customers. Oh, thank goodness. You boys at the WEF didn't do a good enough job. They're still delivering eggs. It would take time to rebuild the sheds and restore flock numbers. In the meantime, the business will be working hard to continue to supply eggs and get back to full capacity as soon as possible. I know New Zealanders will be worried about what this means when eggs are in short supply. See, it's not here. It's not just us. It's everywhere. The reality is the losses at Orion represent only 1.4% of the layer hen population nationally, so while it's a tragic loss, it won't have a significant impact on egg supply. Is that 1.4% when all of the egg production is at full capacity in the country, or is that 1.4% after the World Economic Forum has had their scorched earth policy enacted? A fire and emergency New Zealand Fens spokesman said they received a report about 7:45 this morning of a fire at the farm on Old Road. When we arrived, the shed was well involved with fire. We sent 5 trucks and 3 water tankers. There have been no injuries reported, and a fire investigator was at the scene. Well, no injuries except for the hens that died that day. Listen, guys, this is the most populated bird on the planet because of domestication. They are coming for it. They want you to eat less meat. They want you to eat less animal protein. They're trying to save the planet. Do you know how much methane chicken farts produce? The world is completely upside down. However, in good news, from Axios.com, fake meat fad hits the chopping block. Fantastic. People don't want this garbage. They don't want it. They don't want it. They don't want it. Customers and investors alike are sticking a fork in fake meat. Why it matters. Eating plant-based meats is one of the easiest ways for Americans to reduce their overall carbon footprint. But after years of hype, the tide is turning against the first generation of plant-based protein makers. I don't think you can legitimately call these people first-generation protein makers. We already have those things. They're called cows. I would say the cow is probably the first-generation protein maker. They're like, wouldn't it be great if we had a machine, some sort of device that could take plants and turn it into meat? Impossible Foods and Beyond Meat captured headlines and plenty of legitimate interest from consumers with their plant-based hamburgers. Both companies' plant-based burgers were a hit. The meat looked and tasted similar enough to beef that many diners couldn't notice the difference. The meats were so popular that fast food giant Burger King noticed that it added an Impossible Whopper to its menu. Impossible and Beyond started looking at the other types of meat they could replace and expand their range of offerings to include other highly processed meats like chicken nuggets and sausages. But now, sales are collapsing. Impossible Foods plans to lay off roughly 20% of its workforce amid falling sales, per a Bloomberg report. Impossible's primary competitor, Beyond Meat, also cut roughly 20% of its workers and lost several executives amid its own stock slump. Beyond Meat sales fell more than 22% in the third quarter of 2022 compared to 2021. In a Q3 earnings call, company executives blamed inflation for consumers' souring taste on pricier plant-based meats. Beyond Meat stock is down roughly 67% compared to a year ago. What we're watching: Impossible Foods and Beyond Meat use a process called high moisture extrusion, which effectively pre-cooks the protein prior to sale. The technique works so well with ground meat that doesn't require a uniform texture or a single cut of meat. A new set of startups is working on developing new techniques to create more types of plant-based proteins to replace large cuts of meat and fish. The news these days is beyond bizarre. I just woke up this morning to find all of the Twitter feeds and comments about the Grammys last night. The world has just gone nuts. I mean, this is why we homestead. Get out of the crazy. Get out of the insane. The world has just gone insane. Thankfully, I have my own chickens. Yay, look at that. Okay. Hey, listen, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Be sure to share it on your social media websites. I appreciate that. We gotta put some sanity back into this world, folks. Hey, stupid should hurt. If we had more hurt in this world, there'd be a lot less stupid. You can find the shirts available at teespring.com. Links in the description down below. If you get this shirt, people are going to come up to you and say, hey, where'd you get that shirt? And you can tell them you heard about it here on An American Homestead. All right, guys. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dean Kane, and I am a big fan of American Homestead, as are you, or you wouldn't be seeing this right now. I'm in my backyard, my homestead, where I grow lots of fruit and vegetables. Look, both Zach and I are big fans of history, and we are watching the economic situation in our country just like you are. We absolutely love this country, and it's very difficult for us to watch it struggle financially. Now, did you know that the Constitution of the United States, in Article 1, Section 10, only allows for legal currency to be minted in gold and silver? I bet you didn't. I wasn't aware. But our founders, in their wisdom, they understood that this was the true way to build a solid financial foundation for this new nation. And they were right. They were dead right. These principles rocketed the industry and the economy that made the United States the powerhouse that we now enjoy. However, today, the US dollar, it's not backed up by anything of real value. And here we are. Now, our friends at Genesis Gold Group are helping people stuck in 401ks, IRAs, and anyone else who's watching their hard-earned wealth teeter on the edge of oblivion by moving their money out of risky paper-denominated assets and into physical precious metals like gold and silver. You can touch it. I'm doing it myself. So is my sister. Call Genesis Gold Group today and let them help you develop a plan to safeguard your assets. It's simple. You can call the number on the screen or visit them at genesisgoldgroup.com. And I will see you next time on the homestead with my dogs and all the fruit that I grow. Look at all this good stuff. You know, we got nectarines. More dogs coming down. If you get cut, we got some aloe vera for you. What I do need, though, is chickens. I need chickens because eggs are about the same price as gold right now. Anyway, see you on the homestead.